What's up, legends? Benchmark Bets is back, and I'm back with another AFL video. Today, we've got a double header, and I'm breaking down both games in full. We've got North Melbourne taking on Carlton at the Marvel Stadium. Then we've got Adelaide going up against Fremantle at Adelaide Oval. And as always, I'm going to go through everything you need. My prediction on the winner, my prediction on the game total, and finally, my favourite thing, player props that I'm loving for these two games. So buckle up, I've done the homework, let's hit these and stack these wins. So before we jump into today's games, let's do a quick recap on how we went last month. And honestly, what a month. We are up 2.81 units with a 57% win rate and an 8.9% ROI. That's exactly what we want. Consistent, profitable betting. Nothing crazy, just stacking units day by day. So let's carry that momentum into today's slate and this month, because I found some really nice angles in both of these games. So the first game of the day between North Melbourne and Carlton. Now let's start with the team news. So some big inclusions for both teams, with Jack Darling coming in, having a rest in the VFL last week. That should give them some nice inclusion into the forward line. And then they are resting Lockie Dovison, who is a rookie for them this year, and bringing in Zach Batch. Dovison should be back next week, I assume, unless something happens in the VFL. But the big talking point here is Tristan Xerri is suspended for 3 weeks and he will be out. That is a massive loss for them in the ruck. So that is obviously going to be something that Carlton should be able to win. But let's see how they go. Then in terms of Carlton side, they have two huge inclusions with Nick Newman coming back in and also Adam Chera. Hopefully Nick Newman is as good as he was before he got injured. And obviously Adam Chera is a very good inclusion for them in the midfield. Jordan Boyd comes in, and also they have a new player in Wade Dirksen, who's debuting. Seems like a pretty good lad. Let's see how he goes in AFL level. And obviously some sort of semi exclusions with Zach Williams being injured and also Harry Dean. So I wouldn't say huge. I'd say Harry Dean is pretty huge for men defense, but Zach Williams is not going to be missed as much, especially with Nick Newman back in. And then Campbell Chesser and also Hudson O'Keefe both come out. They didn't play that well last week, and they deserve to play in the VFL for a bit. So overall, I think Carlton's side is much more stronger than they have been, but I still don't think they're that good. So with that being said, I'm going to back North Melbourne here to win, and North Melbourne to win by 1 to 39 points, giving us some nice odds when I can bring it up for you in a second. So yeah, $2.90 odds for North Melbourne to win by 1 to 39. Looks like they're coming in underdogs, but I think they can win. They should be able to win this easily. If you just want to take their win, that's fine. But the 1 to 39 is just worth it. I don't see them winning by 40 plus here. And in terms of the total, I have set it at 179.5. And I lean the over, but I'm actually liking two different totals here. So the first one I'm liking is for North Melbourne over 84.5 points. So even without Xerri, they should still generate enough forward entries. Their transition from defensive 50 has been solid, and Carlton has been exactly elite defensively. And then the second line that I'm liking is for Carlton under 46.5 points in the second half. Pretty good odds there as well. So Carlton, since halfway through last season, have been very poor in second halves, and also this season. The scoring drops off heavily, and if North can control the tempo and people winning that contested ball, I can see Carlton struggling to put up some points. And then in terms of player props, I'm going with a 2-leg same-game multi for you guys. So the first leg I'm going with is good old Harry Sheezel for 30 plus disposals. So he just consistently hits this week in, week out. He's hit this in the last 7 games. And then Carlton are leaking heaps of disposal to midfielders as of late. And they have no real tagging threat. You should get plenty of the ball here. And then the second leg I'm going with is Oliver Hollands for 15 plus disposals. So has only gone under this line twice in the last 18 games, and even with Nick Newman back, he still plays a half-back wing role and picks up a lot of uncontested ball. And if you're taking this, make sure you're taking on TAB. Should be able to get odds of 1.75, and remember, they have the one disposal rule. If it's down by one disposal, you still win. So all we really need is Oliver Hollands for 14 plus disposals and Harry Sheasel for 29 plus disposals here. So let's go to the second game between the Crows and Freo, and let's look at the team news first. So Fremantle come into the side unchanged, but Adelaide, this is where things get interesting. So they have brought in Jordan Dawson, who was a huge inclusion for them, and also Taylor Walker. Should be a nice little presence in the forward line for them. And they've also included Riley O'Brien, who is definitely needed, especially against the two Fremantle ruckmen. And also they bring in James Borrelas, who was a nice little defender for them. Obviously Jordan Butts being omitted, or not being omitted, he got injured, so that's not that good for them. But Malley, Nankervis, and Chase Jones all come out for the other three guys. I think Malley should come back in next week. I don't think they'll need Rob anymore. But obviously Chase Jones and Nankervis, they definitely won't make their way back into the side for a bit until there's some injuries. So in terms of the winner, I'm still going to go with Adelaide to win this game. It's going to be a very close game, so I'm expecting them to win by 1-24 here instead of 1-39. It's much better odds for that one, so it gives you the odds of, I think it's like 3.3. We'll get up in a second. Yeah, 3.5, Adelaide to win by 1-24. This game should be very, very contested. Both teams are scoring very well. However, I can just see Adelaide winning here pretty comfortable. Well, not pretty comfortably, but should be able to win this, especially being at home. And then in terms of total points, they've set the line at 175.5. And honestly, I lean the under, but there is something that I'd like to play more instead, and that is for Fremantle to go under 86.5 points. So they haven't cleared this in the last 3 times at Adelaide Oval. Pros are a much better defensive unit at home, and this game, like I was saying, this game should definitely be much more contested here. I just don't see Freo scoring 90 here, not even 80 or 70. Obviously, in the last 3 games, they have scored over 100 pretty convincingly, but they have versed Richmond and Melbourne at home, and also they versed a lackluster Geelong in Geelong, where if they were versing the Geelong currently, they wouldn't even be able to score 70. So in terms of player props, I'm going with something different here. I'm going with a head-to-head between Josh Rochelle and Jake Saligo, and I'm going with Josh Rochelle to beat him. So last week, Josh Rochelle only plays 64% CBA compared to Saligo, who plays 73%. But compared to those two, I definitely choose Rochelle over Saligo in the midfield. So especially with Jordan Dawson coming back in, I can see Saligo's CBAs dropping heaps in this one. Should drop to about, I say, about 30-40%, and Josh Rochelle should be able to keep his 50% CBAs. So obviously, more midfield time equals more disposals, and obviously Josh Rochelle should be able to get more disposals over Jake Saligo in this one here. And that's pretty much it for today's video. So just to recap, I'm taking North Melbourne 1-39, and also taking the 2 totals of North Melbourne overs and also Carlton's unders in the second half. And then also the same game multi between Sheasel and Hollands. And then for the second game, taking Adelaide 1-24 and also Fremantle's total under, and then Rochelle head-to-head against Jake Saligo. So if you're enjoying the content, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's keep on building that March momentum into April. We're stacking those units, we're staying disciplined, and we're only just getting started. Good luck with your bets, stay safe, gamble responsibly, and I'll catch you in the next one. Laters.